This contest gives us half the thrills and spills of the Marseille quarter-final 4 years ago. Then we're set for a real treat. And there, the traditional welcome for the teams. In a couple of moments, they shall enter the arena. It's blowing pretty hard, the wind's picked up as the day's gone on, up to about 45 kilometres an hour. Well, internal strife in South Africa rugby, part of the daily diet, and the run into this game has been no different, with injuries to cope with and speculation and controversy over team selection. No Matfield, James, Habana, Muller or Jean de Villiers to choose from for coach Peter de Villiers. All ruled out with injury, so Frans Steyn moves into the centre alongside Jacques Ferry. The clarion call for Bismarck du Plessis to start at hooker has fallen on deaf ears. There's also no place for Francois Hoogaard. Fiji have made 3 changes, all in the pack. Hooker Sinio Koto and the 2 back rowers, Gloucester's Akapusi Ongera and Massi Matadigo, who played for Montpellier in June's French Championship final of the new faces. The centre, Gabi Lomo-Balavu, plays alongside Johnny Wilkinson at Toulon. Du Plessis and Hoogaard are both among the South Africa replacements. Nicky Little will be a familiar name to followers of the Premiership. This is his 4th World Cup. So the stage set at the Cake Tin, as they call it. 40,000 can cram in here. In all honesty, there are 1 or 2 empty seats. The majority of the crowd wearing the green and gold of South Africa.
Would you please be upstanding for the national anthems of South Africa and Fiji, recorded by the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra and supported by the New Zealand Choral Federation Anthem Choir.
Five languages embraced in the anthem, a generation on in the Rainbow Nation. Nkosi Sikeleli and his stem, now a seamless transition from one to the other. Well, alongside me, the former Scotland international and British Lion, Scott Hastings. Scott, the Springboks, are they vulnerable?
Well, they certainly can be. It was interesting speaking to Dick Muir yesterday, just at the captain's training run, and South Africa know quite literally they were let off the hook. And as a result, they know that they're going to play a structured game in all of the 80 minutes that's on show today, because Fiji are so exciting. They have a defter hand. Their running angles are absolutely superb. But we have seen against Namibia that they are vulnerable up front within their pack.
The cry is up for the Thimby. The Fijians prepare to deliver their challenge. Well, the Thimby, adopted by the Flying Fijians as their formal issue of challenge to the opposition, for which in its historic context was actually traditionally performed to celebrate victory on the Warriors' return from battle. Well, if it's anything like the quarter-final from 4 years ago when Fiji came so close to upsetting the mighty Boks, then it's going to be a real cracker. John Smith, he must be under huge pressure, mustn't he?
Yeah, massively so. But the one thing about Schmidt, he does lead well from the front, and they know that he has the experience, but there's a lot of experience in that pack. You just have to look to the second row, the welcome return of Bakis Botha, Danny Rousseau as well. And in that back row, I'm really looking forward to seeing Henrik Brousseau, this open side flanker, he could to the breakdown, because that's going to be ultimately key. If Fiji win ball at the breakdown, we know they're going to run it. We're looking forward to exciting action. It's all about South Africa, though, building on last week's performance.
Well, it's quite a brains trust you saw there among the South African coaches. We've got Peter de Villiers, he's supported by Dick Muir, the backs coach. There's also Rassie Erasmus, you might have caught a glimpse of there. One of the great Springbok back rowers. Percy Montgomery helps out with the kicking. No South African has scored more test points than him. Well, the referee tonight, Roman Poit, his second match of the tournament. Previously he was at Rotorua for Samoa's win against Namibia in this pool. Pierre Spies, a massive game for him. Remember, he missed out on the last World Cup 4 years ago. Well, you can see one or two clouds up in the sky. It's been a decent day in Wellington. And we're all set to go for the fourth match in Pool D. Remember, Samoa and Fiji at the moment, top of the table, 5 points each. South Africa with 4 by virtue of that narrow win against Wales. Well, we're on the waterfront in the capital. A chance for the defending champions to demonstrate they can be a contender. Straight to Matadigo. Man who plays for Montpellier. He played such a huge part in Montpellier's rebirth last season when they got all the way to the top 14 final. And really, I think where the Springboks are concerned, stop the Fijians playing. It's the only way they know. Fling the ball around, and you can see straight in there, Henrik Brousseau, the breakdown king, just trying to rip that ball out. Back from Kenatali, the scrum half. The referee says that was inside the 22, or wasn't taken back in, so they could go directly for touch.
Well, a statement of intent, wasn't it? The acrobatic take from the kickoff by Matadigo, and then Fiji running it from deep, but sense kicked in, and they're down on the halfway line. So South Africa, so important to get the set piece right.
John Smith, his 108th cap today, equaling Victor Matfield's record as the most capped Springbok. That was Pierre Spies climbing high. What an athlete he is. He's certainly a sub-11 100-metre runner. Started off his life playing on the wing. There's Brousseau breaking away. The offload to Duprier. And Duprier being wrapped up by Nalanga. Forward goes Stilka. And the ball has been flung out, and it's a penalty against Fiji. And already Bakis Botha, his first competitive clash for a month, and he seems to be gesticulating that there was head-on-head there.
Well, Botha right in there, wasn't he? But Fiji, they committed the sin, and it's the penalty against them. So an early pop-at goal for Morney Stain. And this is the ill discipline that Fiji have to stay away from. They've got to allow the fact that they've got to allow the Springboks to compete. But the breakaway by Brousseau, the wee pop past Fury. Look at this one. Nalanga comes in for a big hit here. Oh, you could feel that from here, couldn't you?
There weren't too many arms around, were there? It appears to be that to which Bakis Botha was reacting. Well, Mornay Stain doesn't miss many off the kicking tee. 7 points against Wales, 3 out of 3. He's only been playing Test rugby for a little more than 2 years. Already, he's racked up 355 points. Getting a Quade Cooper tight welcome. Well, it's his first miss of the World Cup, and in all honesty, for a man of his quality, that was a bad one.
Yeah, that should have been straight between the sticks. Mornay Stain letting Fiji off the hook. Now Fiji, well, in their matches against Namibia, they tended to clear long downfield, and undoubtedly I think that's what they're shaping up to do.
They've gone deep. There's Stain again. This time he pumps it up. Spies is after it. Also Berger. They let it bounce to Fiji. That goes Livenyali. It is gathered. Gonivar right in the thick of it. There's Kenatale. There's Stain again. After it goes the youngster, Pat Lambie. But it's plucked out of the air by Nalanga. Nalanga, terrific off-road. That was to Matadigo. Oh, terrific play. Wonderful stuff from the Fijians. When they get the ball in hand, they are quite spectacular. On from Seremaya Bai, onto Gonivar. There's Ongera. Ongera who scored a try in that great win against Wales at Nantes 4 years ago. Kenatale burrowing away, but it is a penalty against Fiji.
Well, you'll also note, making a nuisance of himself, there he is wearing the scrum cap. Brousseau was right in there to deny the possession for Fiji. And this is the one area, the contact we've already talked about, such a feature already, that man there, he will win the breakdown for South Africa. Fiji just didn't get enough bodies there to clear the ball, to get that phased possession that they so desperately crave.
He plays with such poise, doesn't he, Brousseau? Second man in to the tackle, rips the ball out, stays on his feet. He's perhaps the best in the world at it.
Nalanga taking the ball there. There's some fantastic players. Ongera in the contact situation, costing Fiji.
A glimpse there of Dani Rousseau, who rather quietly has stepped into the 60s now in terms of his appearances in Test rugby. There's Brousseau, the ball's gone forward off a Springbok hand.
Well, it's been a smashing atmosphere simmering around the Wellington harbour front today. Lots of green and gold, as you said, Martin, and just great atmosphere as we build towards these late kickoffs here in New Zealand. The conditions are absolutely perfect. Yes, it's a little bit blustery and swirly, but slightly protected within this stadium here, and a great crowd here to witness the action.
The Fijians have brought in some help from outside the country. Michael Foley behind the glass there, among others, as well as Masesi Rauluni, who you may remember playing at 9 for Saracens until very recently.
Well, there's no real surprise that John Smith has decided to take the scrum. If they can keep the pack down and launch